I've spoken a lot about needing to take pleasure in the small things in this process, that it needs to be the little aspects of the writing process, like coming up with a strong sentence, with, enjoying seeing your work become more clear and refined, that you have to take a joy in these little things, as opposed to waiting for the big payoff of having your story done to find joy in the work. Uh, and today I got another one of those days. Today was another one of those days where, small thing brought a whole lot of joy to this process, and it was very simple. It ended up just being that I came up with a pretty cool, I suppose, diversion in the story. Um, the way my stories usually run, the way I usually do them, is I will have a pretty good idea of where the story's going to go. I have a pretty idea what direction it's going to go in. I tend to have things relatively plotted out. I'd say a good portion of it usually is plotted out. Um, and so today, though, I came up with kind of a diversion of the story. Whole new plot line, a whole new storyline seemed to just shoot up organically. I had a chance just to kind of explore again my characters and the world they are exposed to in a different way, and it was awesome. It was just nice little thread that just came out. I just tugged on a little bit, and just more and more have come out. It's been awesome. Um, these are the things that matter. Like, these are the things that really, really, really matter in this whole process. It's not about the, the, I, it's not about the end goal in a sense. It's about getting, the joy in doing these small things. Obviously, I speak a lot about needing that, needing that big win, right? So we do, in a very real sense, basically, unfortunately, it does require that. But no, but today though was really just about, just making that kind of progress. And so I felt very, very strong today. I felt very, very happy with the progress that I have indeed made. Um, so I'm going to be going, I guess, forward with just this cool little trick here, and we're just going to see what happens. Um, I don't know where it's going to end up. This story, I don't know, but very, very happy to have gotten this new little, I guess, this new little side thing. It's very happy to have this thing happen organically. And I think the best stories often end up this way, that sort of unfold in a very natural sense from your characters. You can be very rigid, you can plot and plot and plot and plot and plot these things out, but occasionally what happens is when you plot things very tightly, you you end up in a scenario basically where you're trying to force something that's not going to work. That you're trying to make something happen because you, the author, want it to happen, not because it's a realistic thing for your characters. And so what happens is you have to end up rewriting your characters. You have to make a lot of changes, to your story to kind of get it to eventually fit. And I tend to find that, yeah, you can make adjustments and get everything to fit well, I suppose, at the end. But if something organic springs up, it's a little bit different from what you planned out. Go with it. Go with it. Your characters are already there. Everything is already there. The groundwork's already been laid for this kind of twist, or this change in the story to happen. So go with it. Um, I very much like to surrender. I like to surrender a lot of my work to this sort of, I don't know, the subconscious, whatever it might be, um, that sort of element that just happens to come to you, right? It's sort of like the muse. I like to surrender a lot to that. So if there's a brilliant idea, something changes and you didn't plan on it, I always believe in really going with it. Just follow it, and see what happens, because oftentimes I think that it tends to end up better than what you had envisioned your story originally being. Um, you can't be you can be controlling, I think, to a point, but not completely. Um, it's a bit like getting, I think it's a bit like getting a tattoo, right? When you get a tattoo and you hire an artist, you go in with like a general idea, concept. You give them like 80% of what you want, right? Like, I want this location, this is the design I have for it. That other 20% is the artist. You surrender the artist to do the design their way. They do it in their own way, with their own kind of unique style. And you have to be okay with that. The person that goes in that needs this exact thing to look exactly how they've envisioned it, it makes it a bit more complicated. And often it creates a very you'll never be really satisfied with the work that gets done. I think it's the same thing with these stories. You go with 80% of what you want your story to be, but leave it open for the 20% to change. Leave it open for that small um, change to happen that can make the story better, that can make it feel more organic, to make it feel less like it was a plotted out story, more like it was a real thing. Because that's I think where the realism comes in. When people say the story felt real, when people say I got emotionally engaged and I felt these characters felt real to me, I think it comes from those moments. It comes from those organic moments that tend to spring up in your story that you go with. Um, I think that's where the real realism comes in. I don't think you can necessarily plot that. You can I don't think you can plot things to be that way. I think you just have to kind of embrace it when it happens, these small things, and just go with it. So I'm going to sign off here. Today is the Super Bowl, so for those in America, I hope you enjoy it. Um, I personally don't care who wins at all. It's quite it's two teams that I absolutely hate. So as an NFC East fan, I cannot condone the Eagles winning, a division rival winning the Super Bowl, and I don't care much for the Chiefs at all either. Um, I like Andy Reid, but I can't really condone them winning it. So we'll see what happens. I'll be, I guess, suppose partially engaged with it later tonight, and then I'm back tomorrow for another session.